Rape victims' families, members have been killed, her lawyers have been targeted. And you can't, a father has died, 2 aunts have been killed, she herself died. And the case has been transferred from UP to Delhi, keeping her vulnerability in mind, keeping the fact that her father was killed in custody. You know, and you tell me today...
Arnab, I don't disagree.
No, but having said that, you then say, then I will suspend the sentence of the rapist and the murderer.
Arnab, it is, you know,
it's very arbitrary.
This is an uncomfortable situation. I mean, I admit it, but you know, it is, but you see, the point is that there is, let me point something out that is very interesting for your viewers also. So we all know that there is a presumption of innocence, that when you're still under trial, you enjoy that. Now, once you get convicted and once an appeal is still available to you, speaking strictly in terms of criminal law jurisprudence, the presumption of innocence doesn't, of course, it weakens, but it doesn't go away entirely. This is where a provision like 389 comes in, Arnab. It's very interesting.
Really?
Because you're suspending the sentence, because the logic is that if you do succeed in the appeal, then the injustice of the extended incarceration is basically not suffered by you.
But this is, you think this is an ordinary
just the legal
case.
aspect that I wanted to put
Jay,
out.
I mean, I'm getting responses here. In this case, I emphasize there has been no case like this in this country. This is the worst of the worst case, rarest of the rare. The man is dangerous. He is a rapist and a murderer. He will be sitting in his house. And the victim will be protesting on a cold winter night. We are the same country in which all political parties were compelled to extend the parliament session for the Nirbhaya case. And today, this is the answer the people of this country get. Yeah. No, this is not correct. This is not ethical. Lalita, this is wrong. This is patently wrong.
This is a mockery of justice. This is an absolute mockery of justice. You know, the letter of the law is being literally misused. I really think I'm going to get shoved into jail for being so blunt tonight, but this is really a mockery of justice. This man has already been convicted. The presumption of innocence is just, you know, these are just words. Yeah, the law is the law, it needs to be upheld. How are we upholding any law when a man who has killed, who is raped, who has helped the victim to be gang raped, has already been found guilty, and then we say that under the law, because there's a provision that says he still can be termed as not guilty or held not guilty, he can get away with it? How is this justice?
Yeah.
We go to the courts for justice. We are not, most of us are not lawyers.
This is the country where a 17 and 8-month-old so-called juvenile was also told to write a 300-word essay and get away after killing 2 people in Pune. This is a country where the Upar cinema tragedy was the deadliest disaster. 59 people died and the Ansal brothers faced no consequence. But it is also a country, Susiben, where the media will continue to fight against this.
And that's your right. That is why you're the 4th pillar of the democracy. No one is questioning that. My limited point here is to cast aspersions of the judiciary. That is my limited point. And then to say that just because you have money, you have better access to justice.
Questions, ma'am. We are questioning them.
Clearly questions which any person would ask.
We are not casting aspersions.
Nobody is casting aspersions. I am only questioning the judgment.
We are in a democracy. We can ask questions.
Yes. I have a question to put to Lalita.
Right. Please do.
Ladies and gentlemen, I will have to close it at this point because I'm replaying that very important, if I may say, historic interview with the former Chief Justice of India. And I want to say one thing before I play this for you. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to watch the entire interview and follow every word and judge for yourself. You judge, I won't. Whether you find the former Chief Justice of India, BR Gavai, convincing at all, underline at all, about his own Aravalli verdict. I'm going to run that poll live. You decide. Here it is. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my attempt always to go to the nub of the issue. Joining us is Justice BR Gavai, former Chief Justice of India and the author of this judgment on the Aravallis, which is being debated all over the country. Justice Gavai, I hope you will go through my questions and give me appropriate replies, because fundamentally, and I would like to begin by saying this, Justice Gavai, that I have a fundamental disagreement with your judgment, which as a citizen of India, I'm entitled to have. The Aravallis stood for 2 billion years. The judgment that has redefined them was delivered 3 days before your retirement. What was the hurry, Justice Gavai? The judgment was delivered on 20th November and you retired on 23rd November. What was the tearing hurry?
See, I have been monitoring this issue for more than 3 years. If you go through the judgment, we had raised, firstly, see, judges are not supposed to justify their judgment, but since this is an important issue and there's a misconception about the judgment, I agreed to speak to you. If you go through the judgment entirely, the difficulty is that the persons speak about the judgment without even reading them in the entirety. So if you go through the entire judgment, I had given the entire narration as to how the matter arose. There was some issue with regard to the difference adopted by the various states with regard to definition of Aravalli Hills and Aravalli ranges. So in order to settle those matters, we heard the matter on number of occasions. Various issues were framed, and after hearing the matter, once you hear the matter at length, if you don't decide the judgment, it's like
Justice Gavai, may I ask you, how can you pass that comment on me on my program that I have made my judgments on the issue without having gone through the judgment? I would politely, completely disagree with this presumption of yours and remind you that I have seen your judgment in entirety. In fact, no, I don't think you can pass a judgment like that, pass a comment like that on my observations, sir. I take offense to that. Having said that.
What I've seen on your program is that it is being projected as if we have given a complete license for mining in the Aravalli Hills, but that's not correct. If you go through the judgment, we have in fact imposed certain more restrictions on mining in the Aravalli Hills and ranges.
No, sir, your own judgment makes it clear on paragraph 30 that your final word went against the amicus curiae, who is a friend of the court. Very explicitly, Justice Gavai, in paragraph 30 of your judgment, it notes that the amicus curiae had stated in his submission, quote, if the definition as recommended by the committee is accepted, all the hills below the height of 100 meters would be opened up for mining, and as a result, the Aravalli Hills and the ranges would lose their continuity and integrity. It would totally endanger the environment and ecology of the mountains.
So therefore, if you read the further parts of the judgment, we have considered the rival submissions of both the parties. We have accepted the report of the committee, which was consisting of various experts, various representatives of the state governments. And then we, on a surrender pattern, we have specifically directed that no further mining activities would be conducted.
Justice Gavai, in fact, in para 31, the arguments of the Additional Solicitor General have been documented. I've read that as contradicting what the amicus curiae had said on the premise that, and I quote, it would exclude large areas from the Aravalli Hills and ranges. She, however, submitted that if the definition as suggested by the committee is adopted, unquote. If the amicus curiae, who is a friend of the court, has explicitly taken the view contrarian to the committee view, which has ministry at its helm, which has government at its helm, shouldn't the court have taken the view of the amicus and not that of the government pioneered by the ASG?
Mr. Arnab, the court is required to take into consideration the submissions of both the sides. The court cannot accept. It's not necessary that always the court has to accept the submissions are made by one behalf. Maybe the learned amicus is a friend of a court. The court has to consider all the aspects, and after considering the aspect, the court comes to an opinion. So it is not as if that we have to accept the arguments.
No, but the amicus curiae, respected Mr. Justice Gavai, was going by the FSI criteria, but it said that the FSI criteria better preserve the ecological integrity of the Aravallis. Mike, with due respect to you, Justice Gavai, the FSI is comprised of India's topmost and most respected experts on matters of ecology and environment. Does that not matter to you? Are the experts less aware than the government? Or for that matter, less aware than the judiciary?
Mr. Arnab, the FSI was also a part of the larger committee which was appointed by the court. The committee consisted of various experts from various fields, including the representative of the FSI. And the report which was submitted was not only by the government, it was a report of the experts.
Sir, I'm quoting from your judgment, para 27. The FSI had clearly defined the Aravallis in 2010 as, quote, underslope over 3 degrees, foothill buffer equal 100 meters, interhill distance or valley width equal 500 meter, and for the area enclosed by the above defined hills from all sides. What was the need to revisit this definition in the first place?
There was no question of...
Why did you have to revisit this definition in the first place?
So therefore, I made a submission that the comments are made without reading the judgment. If you go through the earlier parts of the judgment, the necessity was felt because all the 4 different states applied different yardstick insofar as the definition of Aravalli Hills and definition of Aravalli ranges are concerned.
But that can't be a reason, sir. The fact that the old definition...
Please,
sir, the fact is the old definition... The fact is the old definition recognizes slope, buffer, valley, enclosure and continuity, the very elements that make a mountain range a living ecological system, not a collection of isolated bumps. And yet, the court walked away from it. Why?
The court has not walked through it. On the contrary, if you read the operative paragraphs as well as the earlier paragraphs, we have specifically said that on a surrender pattern, the MSFP has to be prepared wherein the mining which it will provide, which are the areas where the mining will be prohibited and where the sustainable mining would be permitted.
Sir, I would request you, Justice Gavai, there is a precautionary principle in law. The precautionary principle applies in this case, doesn't it? The precautionary principle in environmental cases means taking preventive action to protect the environment from serious or irreversible harm, even when there is no scientific evidence which is not fully conclusive. This means, as per precedent of the law, the onus is on precaution and safety. Why didn't you apply? I would like to ask you, you have been the Chief Justice of India. The nation wants to know from you, you've been Chief Justice of India in this case, why did you not apply the precautionary principle in this case? There have been innumerable matter precedents of precautionary principles being applied by the honorable courts on matters of environment. I don't find those quoted in your judgment. May I ask you why?
If you read the operative part, it is very much clear that unless the MSCP is finalized by the IFTRI and finalized by the MoEF, no further mining licenses would be granted.
Justice Gavai, Vellore Citizens Welfare Forum versus Union of India, 1996. The Supreme Court declared the precautionary principle a legally enforceable principle crucial for sustainable development and shifted the onus of proof onto polluters. MC Mehta versus Union of India, Taj Trapezium case, 1986. The Supreme Court used the precautionary principle to stop industries from burning coal near the Taj Mahal, recognizing harm from pollution. I am not an advocate, but I'm asking the former Chief Justice of India, a matter of principle, why did Justice Gavai not apply? Why did the 3-judge bench not apply the precautionary principle in this case?
If you kindly go through the operative part, clause 4 and 5 make it very much clear that unless the MSFP is finalized by IFTRI and MoEF, no further mining leases would be granted in all 4 states in the Aravalli Hills.
Sir, the precautionary principle means that in matters that are likely to affect the environment, it is not required to prove that the activity will cause harm, but that the activity is prohibited unless it can be established that it is benign. No one is suggesting here that deforesting the Aravallis will... Sir?
What does the prohibition on the new mining licenses amount to?
Okay, sir, then let me ask you
we
the
have-
AP Pollution Control Board versus MV Naidu case 1990 to 2000, landmark Indian Supreme Court judgment that reinforced the precautionary principle, established the right to clean water as a part of the right to life, Article 21, and placed the burden of proof on polluters. All these cases were there for you to look at, sir.
We have looked at the cases, and this is T.N. Godavaram and N.C. Mehta are the continuing mandamus proceedings. They are not as if we have closed the matters.
What do you mean?
The
It's not
matters
as
are
it.
continuing.
Sir, I'm
The ma-
asking. So you're saying the matter
It is
is
not.
not closed?
The matter is not closed. We have directed the MSCP to get the report. The MSCP report will come to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court will find out wherein the mining activities are to be permitted and where they are to be prohibited. It is not as if that the matter is closed.
Sir, but you've not looked at other
T.N.
cases
Godavaram
which were in the
will go-
public domain. There is a May report by the government. It's titled Detailed Action Plan Aravalli Landscape Restoration, in brackets Aravalli Green Wall. The irony is this report was published by the Ministry of Environment and Forests. It's not even an old report. It was published in May 25, just 8 months before the Supreme Court redefined the Aravallis. It involved the Forest Survey of India, state forest departments of Delhi, Gujarat, Haryana, Rajasthan, along with German Cooperation for International Cooperation. Now, this report was in the public domain, and the nation wants to know from you, Justice Gavai, as the former Chief Justice of India, would you see it the other way, that this report had very much established the threat to the Aravallis? 8 months before your judgment, your new definition allows for leeway by the mining players to exploit an already depleting resource.
Mr. Arnab Goswami, it is firstly not the definition provided by the court. It is a report of the committee of the experts. The court found that the report was liable to be accepted subject to the further requirement regarding, I am again repeating we are again going to the...
So you don't completely agree with the government's version, which the government says we are only going by what the Supreme Court says. You are saying you're only going by what the government told.
We are going by what the report of the experts, of which the FS was also a party. We only accepted that, and in addition to acceptance, we imposed certain stringent conditions which would protect the mining activities. Unless the MSCP is finalized, no further mining will be permitted.
Sir, you've seen Sir, you've seen the report.
If you kindly go through paragraph 4 and paragraph 5 of the operative order, it is more than clear.
Sir, you have seen the affidavit out here, sir, of the government which was filed in this case, because I've gone through it in detail. It's 2000. You say I have not seen the reports, but I have read every word of the 2,334-page additional affidavit filed by the Ministry of Environment. Sir, I am very detailed in my work. Sir, the fact of the matter is the government is trying to institutionalize mining as a core objective, not as an exception, by formally designing a framework whose purpose is to enable exploitation, mining inside the Aravallis.
No, but then we have not accepted that. We have specifically stated that unless and until MSAP, the management of sustainable development plan, is finalized, no further mining leases.
Sir, may I ask you a question, sir? You also said, sir, now that there is considerable public outrage on this matter, and by informed people, not uninformed people, do you believe that if necessary, this matter should be looked at again, reviewed, discussed?
I have always stated that the law has to be static, law has to be developing, law has to be organic.
Yes.
We have, on various occasions, wherever we have found that earlier orders are not correct, the courts have always corrected them.
So,
therefore, I was not inclined to speak to you because the matter may come in review, and normally the author of the judgment should not speak about the judgment. But since you insisted that this is an important issue pertaining to environment,
yes.
So if the subsequent benches find that something more to be done, it is always permissible.
So
the TN of Godavaram is a continuous mandamus process.
So it can come up for review. I mean, you're not. I mean, your view is given. I'm sure you've kept track of the public discussion on this matter, sir, over the last few days, and the amount of attention it has got.
If the court subsequently finds that something more needs to be done, something needs to be corrected, the courts can always do it.
And the government should be open to review as well, given all the expert opinion, others, it can be put through review again, this decision, this definition, in public interest?
So I can't comment on what the subsequent, because I am now I can't be a part of the bench now, I am out of the system. Wherever the matter is brought before the bench will always take into consideration all the aspects.
Sir, is the Supreme Court adjudicating mineral potential or environmental protection?
It is considering environment protection, and if you go through the various orders which preceded this order is not passed in a day. It is passed over an exercise which was undertaken for last more than 1.5 years, insofar as Aravallis is concerned.
So the government is portraying this as a Supreme Court mandated environment protection, as an economic loss, building a grievance narrative to reopen mining on revenue. My point is, sir, you are the author of this report. I have read every word of the report. Of the judgment. I believe there needs to be some balance between the views of the government and the concerns of the citizens.
I have always been advocating the concept of protection of environment, protection of ecology, and the sustainable development. So wherever there is a conflict, a balance has to be given. The environment has to be protected. Ecology has to be protected. I must have authored around 18 to 20 judgments in last 3 years for the protection of environment. And the courts are always, it is always permissible for the court if there is something more to be done, something to be corrected. The courts are always open to it.
Sir, matters are taken suo moto by the courts.
Yes, sir. T.N. Goswami is a suo moto. MC Mehta is a suo moto. MC Mehta is on a postcard of...
but this was a suo moto as well.
This was not a suo moto. If you go through it, the concerns were raised by the various states that there is no consistency insofar as the definition of Aravalli Hills and ranges is concerned. And therefore, in order to bring a common, uniform definition, the court was required to go into all these issues.
So what stops anyone from redefining? Sir, tomorrow somebody will define the Ganges. Tomorrow somebody will redefine the Himalayas. I said the other day with respect that the Supreme Court of India did not create the Himalayas or the Aravallis.
I have already told you it was necessary in order to protect the illegal mining activities which were going on. The various states were saying that it is not in the area doesn't fall in Aravalli Hills and therefore the mining can go on. In order to avoid all that, we were required to pass those decisions.
So I think that, okay, so here's the point. Now, in this particular case, Justice Gavai, the nation is angry. 80% of the people feel there should be a revisiting of the judgment. What is your view on the need to, on revisiting the judgment? Because the government is taking a very stern, inflexible position. You're the author of the judgment.
I can't make any comment on that because any comment by me may be prejudging the issue because I am out of the system. I don't want to make any statement which may have a direct, indirect effect on the proceedings that may arise in the court. And that is why I was reluctant to speak because the judges before whom if the review is filed are always entitled to take a relook at the matter and take appropriate action. I can't make any comment.
Well, I'll appreciate your coming on air tonight because I got a chance to put some straight questions. I hope you will also say, sir, today that after this interview, you would not say that I have not read the judgment, and I hope you find the merit in the questions that I have phrased before you. Because I believe Justice Gavai that the judiciary is important, the media is also important. It's important for us to get the opportunity for this interaction.
I have due respect for the media, but I again say that you have not read the judgment completely. If you had read the judgment, the first 2 or 3 paragraphs, you would have come to know as to why this entire exercise was necessary.
Sir, I again tell you I have read every word of the judgment from the first to the last page.
I'm sorry.
And I have not just read this judgment, I have read previous judgments on the matter, and I politely disagree with your interpretation to it. I hope you feel that.
Anyway, we are not here to convince each other. We are not here to convince each other.
No, I'm not trying to convince you. I'm just taking your view.
I still hold that had you read the judgment, you would know as to why that requirement for having the definition was required.
Sir, I have read the judgment entirely. Otherwise, how could I quote para, chapter and verse to you right now on the judgment?
Then if you have read the judgment, it is the learned amicus who requested the court to take steps to define the judgment, define the definition of Aravalli Hills and Aravalli ranges.
Well, I mean, everybody is shooting off the other shoulder, sir.
So anyway, thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, Justice Gavai. And thank you for coming on Republic. Thank you.
Time for a quick breather. Arnab will be right back with the debate.
In another world, an element is born. Introducing the Phantom Black Edition by Grand Vitara. Nexa.
Powered by Century Ply Club Prime. Raho befikar.
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
QS&THE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
Our pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
मुस्कुराए लड़खड़ाए जिंदगी चाहे जो भी हो।
सर, पेशेंट के लिए कौन सा रूम प्रेफर करेंगे आप?
जिंदगी भर के प्यार का कोई रेट कार्ड नहीं होता। टाटा AIG हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, विद यू लाइक फैमिली, विद यू ऑलवेज।
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जलजीरा मसाला। सिप सिप जीरा सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जलजीरा जीरा सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जलजीरा जीरा सिप।
We just now felt this entire mountain shiver because there are blasts going on. As we were telling you, usually for the limestone mining, the acceptable range of the blast is around 1 meter. And that won't be so harsh that we could feel this entire mountain, feel shake. Yes, definitely. And the kind of, because for cement mining, they need a blast.
An element is born. Introducing the Phantom Black Edition by Grand Vitara. Nexa.
Powered by Century Ply Club Prime. Raho befikar.
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल। ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े। क्या निराला MDH मसाला। मुस्कुराए लड़खड़ाए जिंदगी चाहे जो भी हो।
सर, पेशेंट के लिए कौन सा रूम प्रेफर करेंगे आप?
जिंदगी भर के प्यार का कोई रेट कार्ड नहीं होता। टाटा AIG हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, विद यू लाइक फैमिली, विद यू ऑलवेज।
Our pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
Please stop! झुमका, तेरा झुमका, तेरा झुमका।
Not there. मेरा काउंटर टॉप टूट जाएगा।
तेरा झुमका। मेरी चिमनी टूट जाएगी। What are you doing?
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
We are willing to put an end to this conflict via peaceful means based on the principles that I outlined in July last year when I spoke at the Foreign Ministry of Russia.
এই মুহূর্তে একজন অসুস্থ হয়ে পড়েছে। পুলিশের লাঠির ঘায়ে এই মুহূর্তে মুখ ফেটে গেছে। মুখ ফেটে গেছে এই মুহূর্তে। এই মুহূর্তে আমাদের কাছে গেরুয়া
From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for Arnab Goswami on the debate. Arnab Goswami on the debate.
Across the country, there is Hindu mobilization. And that's a good thing, because Hindus are coming together to call out all the Islamist radicals in Bangladesh. If Hindus don't come together, then who will? However, I would like to say that in response to the inhumanity that the military puppet Yunus is spreading across Bangladesh, not just Hindus, but people from every community in India and across the world must come together. They must come together to talk about what happened to Deepu Chandra Das, a Hindu factory worker in Mymensingh, lynched by a mob over allegations of blasphemy. Allegations, ladies and gentlemen, he's beaten severely, kicked, his body set on fire and hung. The allegations that he had committed blasphemy. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe we should be a truly secular country. But are we? Are we? Or are only some people of one community expected to be secular? If we are truly secular, then why has the country not come together? When a man is lynched, beaten, dragged for the allegation of blasphemy. If we are truly secular, then why is there deafening silence? From Rahul Gandhi busy driving 10 crore motorcycles in Germany, why is there silence from the OAC Rahul Gandhi Club on this matter? They say we take to the streets on the issue of Waqf. If we are truly secular, then where is that "not in my name" placard holding group? Why do they not have placards saying stop Hindu attacks? Why is that Rafah group fighting for the rights of those in Gaza, not speaking for the rights of Hindus in Bangladesh? Ladies and gentlemen, there is national Hindu mobilization. Look at the visuals today. Today, Bangladesh's foreign ministry has confirmed summoning Indian High Commissioner amidst concerns over the security of Bangladeshi missions in India. But look at what happens in Kolkata. That's our anchor and our senior editor, Mayuk Ranjan. His blood splattered on his shirt, trying to save a protester from being brutally attacked by Mamta's police. Mamta Banerjee, what are you doing? This is what Hindus are going through simply for protesting for the rights of Hindus. Thousands of protesters tried to march to the Bangladesh Deputy High Commission in Kolkata. The protest march, titled Hindu Hunkar Padyatra, organized under the banner of the Bongio Hindu Jagaran, started from Sialda in Kolkata, was proceeding to the Deputy High Commission when it was stopped brutally by Mamta's police. Mamta's police taking on the peaceful Hindu protesters, lathi charged and left bleeding. Show those visuals again, ladies and gentlemen. See tonight for yourself the brute force, the utter brutality of what has happened in Kolkata. Innocent protesters bleeding with nobody. But Republic Media Network, Republic Bangla journalists helping them, women protesters dragged on the streets of Kolkata by the police. But the protests were also there in Delhi. And the protesters in Delhi also raised slogans. The Vishwa Hindu Parishad in Bhopal as well, along with the Bajrang Dal and other Hindu outfits, staged a protest. And while all of this happens tonight, the nation wants to know, where is the anti-CAA, anti-NRC lobby? Where are all those who had their eyes on Rafah? Like Alia Bhatt, Sonakshi Sinha, Diya Mirza, Kareena Kapoor, Varun Dhawan. I'm told all of these people had their eyes on Rafah. Why do they not have loud digital protests on the killings of Bangladeshi Hindus? Where is the human rights lobby? Where the hell is that Amnesty International group? Where is Amnesty International? Ladies and gentlemen, these are fake groups that are absolutely, utterly selective. They don't care when Hindus are targeted. So the questions are to these groups. They are concerned, why are Hindus mobilizing themselves? Well, Hindus are mobilizing themselves to fight for their rights. Because Hindus no longer believe that if you're slapped on one cheek, you should keep showing the other cheek for 1,000 slaps to be rained on you. Hindus have become vocal. Hindus are united. And Hindus are mobilized. This is not a counter-reaction to what has happened in Bangladesh. This is a legitimate fight for justice. I condemn the brutality that Mamta's police has unleashed on the peaceful protesters in Kolkata today. Ladies and gentlemen, mobilization, peaceful mobilization, is a legitimate democratic tool that everyone has. I call upon all groups, people of all religions, to join in a nationwide protest against the atrocities on Hindus in Bangladesh. Let's debate.
He begged, he pleaded. But Deepu Das was handed over to a mob, lynched and then set ablaze. His body hanging on the streets of Myanmar Singh in Bangladesh. He was killed for being a Hindu and voicing a thought he firmly believed in. Hindus in India are angry. They are fighting back. From the national capital, from hundreds of kilometers away in Jammu, in central India, Bhopal, and in the east, Kolkata, erupting in protest.
যেভাবে হিন্দুদেরকে মারা হচ্ছে এই মুহূর্তে পড়ে গেল এই মুহূর্তে রক্তারক্তি অবস্থা হয়ে গেছে, রক্তে ভেজে যাচ্ছে হিন্দুদেরকে। এই মুহূর্তে একজন অসুস্থ হয়ে পড়েছে, পুলিশের লাঠির ঘায়ে এই মুহূর্তে মুখ ফেটে গেছে এই মুহূর্তে। আমাদের কাছে গেরুয়া
Hindu protesters are not mincing their words.
यहाँ जो आया है उसके सीने में दर्द है, उसकी रूह कांप रही है। जिस प्रकार हमारे हिंदू भाई बहनों के साथ नरसंहार हो रहा है, बर्बरता हो रही है बांग्लादेश में। यहाँ आने वाला बजरंग दल का कार्यकर्ता है, जो धर्म के लिए आया है, जो देश के लिए आया है, जो हिंदू माता और बहनों के लिए आया है।
clarion call that's reaching every corner of India. Dhaka's backing for radicals has ended up mobilizing Hindus across India.
Gaurav Bhatia of the BJP, Ratan Sharda, he's RSS leaning, of course, public intellectual Sadhvi Jaya Bharti, Advocate Tausif Khan, pro-TMC, Atikur Rahman, and Asif Hussain Sohail. Mamta Banerjee, you saw the visuals, Gaurav Bhatia out there of our senior editor and prominent journalist and anchor Mayuk Ranjan Ghosh. I want to run the visuals again. Tausif, you see there, this young man, his fault, he's a Hindu and he's protesting. Run the visuals in the middle, audio up. Ladies and gentlemen, see these visuals for yourself. For this is what Mamta Banerjee is doing to peaceful protesters. She's so insecure of Hindus coming together. No, later. Please don't disturb, Pradeep. I have with me Tausif Khan and Gaurav Bhatia to start that debate tonight. Tausif, I said two people on two sides of the screen, the visuals in the middle. Thank you, Pradeep. So if you direct, I'll anchor. Now, Tausif, are you so insecure? Why, if this was a Muslims protesting, you would have not dared to bloody the protesters in the way that you've targeted Hindus. It's almost as if you want to show your allegiance to some hardline groups in Bangladesh by targeting innocent protesters in the way we've seen here. Gaurav, you saw that, Gaurav? You're seeing the visuals of what has happened in Kolkata today?
Very disturbing, Arnab.
False propaganda.
Very disturbing.
False narrative because...
Audio is not clear. So, Pradeep, again, audio on one side is to be increased.
By this administration, for the sake of law and order.
What is this? Administration, law and order? I missed it a bit. What were you saying?
Mamta Banerjee is not the Prime Minister. We must gheraw the parliament, we must gheraw the PMO. What is the Prime Minister doing? Why is he not taking action? Mamta Banerjee cannot be expected to...
So Mamta Banerjee can be expected to order a brutal attack on a Hindu protesters who are peacefully going to protest outside the Bangladesh High Commission. Is Mamta Banerjee the Prime Minister of Bangladesh? Are her loyalties to the Bangladeshi Deputy High Commission?
Who is keeping...
What do you mean who? I'm asking you, what is wrong? What is wrong if Hindu protesters protest outside the Bangladesh Deputy High Commission?
Let us protest in the PMO. What is the PMO doing?
No. They are protesting outside the Bangladeshi High Commission.
Becoming a host of Sheikh Hasina.
I'm sorry, the PMO is not carrying out the attacks on the Bangladeshi Hindus. I'm sorry. I don't know what. I'm suspicious now. I am deeply suspicious of your intent, Gaurav Bhatia. The visuals are clear. The visuals are clear.
Bond between
Gaurav Bhatia.
Why are we supporting Sheikh Hasina? Please tell me.
Okay.
Why are we... So
Arnab, if my friend can now allow me to speak, please ask him to be quiet. Please ask him to be quiet. We heard him. Yes. So Arnab, first of all, as a proud Indian and as a proud Hindu, let me say it very clearly, especially to Mamta Banerjee, that this is blasphemy.
Now you get the Bangladesh.
When you treat your own fellow citizens
but
with
you have to make
utmost disrespect and you lathi charge them. And for what? For a constitutional right, Arnab, they have, because they are showing solidarity for a fellow Hindu. They are being human beings. And I'm sad to say that Arnab, Mamta Banerjee today has no norms of basic humanity or decency of being a human being. And why do I say that? First, If citizens are gathering and they are protesting, they are not protesting against Mamata Banerjee. There is no law and order issue. What they're trying to do is they're trying to show solidarity with the Hindu who has been burnt alive. And Mamata Banerjee, rather than assuaging them, rather than standing with them and saying that I stand with you too, she is lathi charging them to tell them disperse, because Arnab, for Mamata Banerjee, it is the Muslim vote bank which is important. And who are the criminals or the accused in Bangladesh? They are all Muslims. They are trying to instill fear in the hearts of Hindus. So Mamata Banerjee has drawn the line. She has taken a side. We have also taken notice of that. And Mamata Banerjee will be given a befitting reply in 2026. Second,
we have with us also just I want to Gaurav,
about human rights.
Gaurav, I have a voice from sorry, not Pakistan, though nowadays, I mean Pakistan, Bangladesh, you know.
Bangladesh.
Sorry, Bangladesh. I have a voice from Bangladesh. Zulkarnain Sayer Khan. He's a journalist who works with Al Jazeera. How do you describe Al Jazeera? A propaganda channel called Al Jazeera. Now, Mr. Khan, the visuals from Bangladesh are extremely disturbing. And this has been going on for a while now. For a while. And Bangladesh is in a very unstable situation, where anything that happens inside Bangladesh is blamed on India. Throughout Bangladesh, do you want the remaining Hindus to leave? How actively is the Yunus government actually acting and not doing lip service on the killings and targeted attacks on the Hindu community across Bangladesh?
Yeah. So before you welcome me to your show, you have to correct yourself. Al Jazeera is not a propaganda outlet, and I am not here on behalf of Al Jazeera. Okay? I am here on my personal capacity. So I hope you please correct yourself and confirm me that you agree that Al Jazeera is not a propaganda outlet.
I believe that Al Jazeera is a propaganda outlet.
Okay, in that case, me being here would not be possible because your channel is...
Why is it that Al Jazeera has a right to call everybody else everything, but you so defensive about any qualification from the other side? Why don't you debate the issue here? You know that 70% of Bangladesh has seen targeted Hindu killings.
You don't have to scream with me. You have asked me to come here, Baba. You were screaming with me. You started by saying Al Jazeera is a propaganda outlet. And I am not here. I did not come to your show on behalf of Al Jazeera.
Okay, so I can say that you have not come on behalf of Al Jazeera. Let's leave that part out. Let's ask you the fundamental question here, that we all are extremely concerned about what is happening to the Hindu community. It is no longer an issue which can be papered over or set aside, right? And it has been consistently happening for quite a while now. Quite a while now, right? And either the system is failing, right? Or Yunus is weak. What's going on?
Do you know there is a guy called Ram Narayan Begel who was killed in Palakkad, a place in Kerala. I think day before yesterday, it was a mob. Ram Narayan was...
Stop Googling, Mr. Khan. Stop Googling, Mr. Khan.
Okay.
Why don't you answer? Why don't you answer what's happening in your country?
I am just raising concern because within your country, day before yesterday, a Hindu man, Ram Narayan, was beaten to death because he was suspected to be from Bangladesh. Is it a crime to be from Bangladesh?
Do you want a reply? You want a reply? I presume you do.
Of course I want a reply.
So I will give you a reply, and then Gaurav Bhatia appropriately will debate with you, because I'm not debating here, but I will give you a reply.
Right.
Do you know, Mr. Khan, and listen to me entirely, that I come from the beautiful state of Assam.
Okay.
You want to know what is a crime? A crime is when you enter a country illegally, in droves, in millions. I feel sorry for the situation in Bangladesh, that so many Bangladeshis have to leave your country. Regardless, please listen. Regardless, please listen. Where you then, allow me, please. Where you then make it a human rights issue, if Bangladeshis and Rohingyans are picked up and sent back. I think it would be appropriate for all the people in your country who are trying to make such big deal of killing of people by unknown people to actually consider why the circumstances in your country are so bad, so pitiable, that you all have to leave your country. And no, this not. Don't draw. You see. Please understand. Please understand. The communal violence has been going on since Hasina's exit. You have blamed everything on Hasina. I hope, Mr. Khan, you don't say that after Hasina left, the violence and killings that have happened after Hasina left are also to be blamed on her.
Hindu houses were burned by Hasina's men. There are multiple instances where Hindu communities were burned down, and it was deliberately burned down before election. It happened in 2014, happened in 2017. On multiple occasions, like it has happened. It is not the first time that Hindu.
So you're saying it's a systemic problem in Bangladesh, to which I want Gaurav Bhatia to respond. To which I'll get Gaurav to respond.
Get resort to it. So, yeah.
Mr. Khan, Gaurav Bhatia is responding.
So first of all, Mr. Khan, Mr. Khan is a journalist, and I would respect a journalist because, Arnab, we are a democracy and a very civilized and powerful one. And we believe that the fourth pillar of a democracy is journalism and a journalist. But I'm shocked to hear the first line that he said. He is justifying the death of a person who happens to be a citizen of his country. Only because he's a Hindu.
I am not justifying anybody's death.
And he's trying to equate it by giving an example.
I did not justify anybody's death.
No, please don't speak in between. I heard you. I heard you. I heard you. You should also hear me.
Yeah, I hope I also get the chance
to.
Yes, you will. Yes, you will, Mr. Khan.
I'll get my ears checked.
You will.
No, maybe, Mr. Khan, maybe I'll get my ears checked. I was first waiting for a condemnation, an apology on behalf of your country. But nothing came forward. You started justifying by an incident that took place in India. So I learned, Arnab, if a person is lynched in India, we feel sorry. Law takes its own course and that person should be hanged. But in Bangladesh, the journalists come out to justify it by giving another example from another country, which is a secular country, which has seen a Muslim president, a Muslim vice president, a Muslim CJI. And minorities here have more rights than the majority. Two, you are a journalist. I have a question for you. In Bangladesh, in last 1 year, 2,500 Hindus have been targeted, killed, and violence has been inflicted upon them. How many stories as a journalist have you covered? Leave Al Jazeera. I am asking you, how many stories have you covered? Is humanity dead in Bangladesh? Can't you come out to say what has happened is reprehensible and we apologize to the world? The most tolerant community in the world is Hindu. We are in majority in India, but we respect every citizen. And yet people like you come out without an iota of apology and then start to debate. I think this is the most unfortunate part. And a message from India. Hindus are tolerant, but we are not weak. We are collectively now giving it back to radicals and we will show everyone their place. Remember that, my friend, Mr. Khan.
Okay,
and Mr. Khan, we know you are not a terrorist. You are Mr. Khan.
Yes, of course.
Yes, I am
not a terrorist because my name is Khan. So I will respond to you, sir. So
don't stand with the radicals.
No, of course not. Of course not. So coming back to that point, you just said there are 500 minority, like Hindus who were killed in Bangladesh in the last 1 year. That statistics itself is wrong.
2,500.
Ministry of
2,500.
500.
2,500.
You say. 2,500. But
2,500.
Ministry of External
targeted,
2,500
or violence inflicted.
Okay. So till since the departure of Sheikh Hasina, there was a briefing by the Ministry of External Affairs, which was held sometime in February this year. And your Ministry of External Affairs person, like official, confirmed that it was 23, not 2,500. So let me correct that on you. It is your government's official who corrected that. And of course, it is a very tragic incident which has happened in Bangladesh. And I am very sorry on behalf of my people and of course, the entire Bangladesh is sympathetic to this, and they do feel sorry about that. That is why the head of the interim government, Dr. Yunus, sent his representative there to the residence of Mr. Das, who was very, very brutally lynched to death, and then his body was burned. And you might not have seen my works before, but if you visit my Twitter or my social media,
what is the assurance that Hindus and the minorities there will be protected in the future?
From the very beginning, I have condemned this attack because Bangladesh.
I have a question for you.
We live shoulder to shoulder with our Hindu brothers, Christian brothers and sisters, Buddhist brothers and sisters.
No,
we do not have this kind of.
But do you believe?
What
One minute,
Chinmoy Krishnadas?
Mr. Khan,
take a few questions.
Gaurav, just for a moment, before you take your question, in the specific case, Mr. Khan, Bangladesh's Rapid Action Battalion (RAB), and I'm quoting, has said there is no clear evidence of blasphemy in the lynching of the Hindu youth in Mymensingh. Okay?
Yes.
So 28-year-old Deepu Chandra Das was killed, his body tied to a tree, and he was set on fire only because he was a Hindu. It wasn't even blasphemy. He was killed because he was a Hindu. Now,
so Arnab, if I can add one more fact, which is more glaring and disturbing. One more fact.
Yes,
before you go to him. Arnab, Mr. Deepu, our brother, basically escaped and he reached a police station. And he was in the custody of this police force or rapid action force. Do you know, it is the uniformed men who handed him over to a wild mob. Now, what does Mr. Khan has to say on that? What does it state about the rule of law situation in Bangladesh? Uniformed men handing over another person to a wild mob. This is very disturbing, Mr. Khan.
It is indeed very disturbing. And uniformed officials who